Hi there, my name is Adele Foley, and I would love to share an artist that I love and admire who uses time as a material. However, before we get into the nitty gritty, I will begin by explaining who they are, what they do, and why I love them in particular. Without any further ado, let's get going. Wangechi Mutu is a contemporary Kenyan born multimedia artist who was born in 1972. She moved to New York in 1992 and received a BFA from Cooper Union in 1996 and went on to get an MFA from Yale University in 2000. Major themes within her works are the female form, which Mutu then manipulates and contorts them into plant, humanoid, machine-like creatures, a nod to African surrealism. The relief of her works vary. Her collages are some of the most intricate and visually appealing out there by the addition of beads, glitter, Kenyan soil, and repurposing magazine material to convey a highly emotional composition. Themes in Mutu's work consist of colonialism, femininity, feminism, storytelling, racism, heritage, disease, and social awareness. The subject of how Black women's bodies have been transported, packaged, and used throughout history is, I would say, the heart of her work. Her artwork is as visually appealing as it is mournful, especially as you go deeper and deeper into the undertones and meanings behind her work. I was lucky enough to be able to see an exhibit of her work in the New Orleans Museum of Art. I had been taught about her briefly in my art history class in high school, but I was still so underprepared to witness her works in real life. What caught my attention right off the bat was the scale of her art. The figures in her art are larger than life, elevating the status of the subjects. Secondly, I found myself staring at many of her works for extended amounts of time, absorbing all that there was, whether that be physical materials used, the themes in the work, or just being in awe of the skill that Mutu showcases. Water Woman, sculpted in 2017 out of casted bronze, is a prime example of the craftswomanship of Mutu and how she is able to bounce between different forms of medium so seamlessly. She combined mythology of East African folklore of a half-woman, half-siren creature called Nuva in Swahili that lures unsuspecting victims to their death with the Anglo-Saxon version of the myth, with the sirens having long straight hair and beautiful pale skin. Water Woman takes a different approach of the stereotypical mermaid siren image and creates a gorgeous, dark-skinned woman with intricately braided hair that reflects traditional Eastern African hairstyles. Mutu wants us to contemplate the meaning of contemporary beauty standards and how non-Western women are rarely put on as high of a pedestal as Western women just because their features are not deemed, quote, as beautiful. Mutu uses time in the themes of her work. Yo Mama, a 2003 diptych made out of ink, mica flakes, and paper, shows a larger-than-life female figure crushing a snake with her heel and exposing all of herself to the viewer while still looking down at us, symbolizing that she is of a higher status than the viewer. It reminds me of the reclined female noose throughout art history, in the fact that it was only acceptable for noble women or goddesses to be exposed in a painting or sculpture, as in the Venus of Urbino, the Birth of Venus, and sculptures of Aphrodite in Greek art. The figure in this diptych is based on a highly pioneered feminist named Funmilayo Antikulapo-Kuti, who is an advocate against female genital mutilation and is said to be the first woman to drive a car in Nigeria. Unfortunately, Funmilayo Anikulapo-Kuti was tragically killed following injuries she sustained when her home was raided by the military after her son began heavily expressing their dislike for the Nigerian military and government. Mutu depicts Funmilayo Anikulapo-Kuti squatting over a mutilated snake, forcibly penetrating her heel into the snake's head, referencing the sexual misconduct millions of people experience around the world at the hands of people assigned male at birth. The tension between the woman being depicted as a warrior and a creator is present here. Mutu wanted to leave a mark in honor of Anikulapo-Kuti and her decades of courageousness. Mutu states, quote, the idea of clear-cut binaries, African, European, archaic, modern, religion, pornography. I've never really believed in that. I'm interested in powerful images that strike chords embedded deep in the reservoirs of our unconscious. End quote. Time is deeply rooted into her works by Mutu's incorporation of Western and traditional African myths and legends into contemporary compositions that leave you craving for more. If you ever get an opportunity to see her work, do not hesitate and go. I guarantee you will be there much longer than you had planned for, in the best way possible. Thank you so much for sticking around to the end of this video, and I hope you learned a thing or two about the wonderful multimedia contemporary artist Wangechi Mutu.